Okay. All right. We're good. We're ready.
Fantastic.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Shannon.
Hello, I'm Tori.
Okay. Let's see. You and I have been chatting on Twitter for a year, maybe
Yeah,
less.
I think maybe like I've been on Twitter for about a year and we've known each other for a while. So I want to say like 8 months to a year. A
Okay.
while for sure.
Well, hi. Nice to see you.
So nice to meet you too.
You're a lot younger than I thought you were. So I'm
No,
very old right now. Okay.
I mean I'm pretty young for just to be like an author, so I get that a lot actually.
Okay. Okay. How old are you?
I'm 24 recently.
Okay. Congratulations. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the writing world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so just to clarify, this is Genres Bookshop podcast, and this is Tori H Tale, and yeah, oh yeah, I'm Shannon Reber, by the way. That's me too. Um, and we're just here to talk about books. So the first question that my friend and I always go through when we do this is, what are you reading?
What am I reading currently? So I was reading Moby Dick. I sort of jumped around the chapters though. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's kind of got like a bunch of chapters about nothing, like about like
Yes.
whaling and stuff. So I've been jumping around with that. I'm gonna start Call of Cthulhu soon. So
Oh,
yeah, I've been reading a lot of classics, but I've also been getting into like Wheel of Time, like fantasy stuff
okay.
as well.
Actually, I just found Wheel of Time, so I'll probably
Oh,
start that soon.
yeah,
Oh,
I've heard that the second book is really good, and I found this like pristine copy, hardback copy of the second book uh for dirt cheap. It was like $1. I was like, it was such a find. So it's like a calling that I must read the second one, get through the second.
so does this mean that the first one isn't that good, or
No, this first
the?
one is certainly like very good. I think that towards the middle, I don't know, fantasy tends to repeat itself, and like a lot of authors, they sort of get into this sort of motion, and that's certainly what happened to Wheel of Time. So
Okay,
I sort of like it gets very predictable, but it's a very good book. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic novel. I totally love it.
okay. Well, I I actually might be wrong. I might not have that one. I just discovered on my Audible subscription that there's a whole range of books that you can get outside of your the one book that you're allowed per month.
Hmm.
So yeah, I downloaded about 12.
12.
Um,
That sounds like a good number.
it is. It seems like a good one. But I finished 1984
Oh,
just last night.
such a good one.
See, I kind of hated it.
You kind of hate it. Why?
I did because okay, spoiler alert, just in case anybody hasn't read it. The ending just it made me sad. Like the bad guys won.
Yeah.
That's so wrong. And I mean, I understand that's the way the real world works. But in fantasy, I love it when the good guys win and
I absolutely agree with you there.
yeah,
Like that, I really hate it when the bad guys win. I want
I
some
know.
justice. Yeah.
Exactly. I kept expecting for, the resistance to come in and save Winston, and it never
Mhm.
happened, and I wanted to cry. And yeah,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
was it was sad.
I think that like with books like that one in particular, and by Orwell, he sort of has this sort of theme where a lot of his books they don't get justice in the end. The bad guy usually wins, but it's sort of like he's trying to. I think he wants the reader to really just absolutely hate the situation, and people certainly did. I think the legacy of that book was very like anti Big Brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. I don't know. I just I suppose I've gotten so into TV and movies where the good guys, for sure that the good guys are going to get the justice, and even when good guys die, it doesn't matter because in the end the bigger picture is that there's victory for the little guy, and I'm just
Mm,
sad.
right. And I think like the death, I mean, spoiler alert, but
Yeah.
in the end, like the death of the main character, I forgot his name, but his what really I think stood out to me in that was like the he denounced the person that he was supposed to love, and then
Yes.
and when
Yes.
finally the brainwashing had just been completed, it's like you're already dead. It's like you're already out. So
Yes. Oh, it was so sad.
mm.
But I mean, I do think it's worth reading. I was just, disappointed because, whatever. That's just me.
Mhm. Yeah, I felt the same. I read it a while ago, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I also picked up oh shoot, Homer, the Iliad. It's actually it's a box set, so it's got the
Mm,
Iliad and the Odyssey, and I'm learning lots about old gods, and it's
mm.
very fun. That is my favorite kind of fantasy.
So, do you have it like written in the old style too?
It's audiobook, so
Mm.
I
Oh, that makes it
it's
so much better.
it does, yeah. The reader is amazing too. He
Mm,
does a very good God voice.
mm. That's awesome. I love that. So with your book, because I know you're an author,
Yeah, yeah.
do you have an audio version of it?
Yes, I do.
You do? Oh,
I
that's
do.
awesome.
I just started, I think I got it started in March and the first one came out in May. Um, so I've got two of my Madison Meyer series, which is Paranormal Mysteries.
Mhm.
So did you ever watch the TV show Fringe?
Oh, I've heard about it. I haven't seen all of it.
Okay. Well, I watched some of it as well. I kind of lost interest in the last season that was out there. But it I have an FBI group that is along the lines of the Fringe TV show,
Mm.
and that I'm really enjoying hearing that coming out and figuring out it when you write a book, it's very different than when you're having it read to you, and you see the mistakes that you hear, the mistakes that you made, and how you needed to go through more, and like, oh shoot, oh okay, yeah, now I got to remember that I need to put that in book 10. Yes, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the great thing about audiobooks is bringing it to life. So
Mm.
yeah, I
Absolutely.
I absolutely think you should try it because it's great.
Yeah, I totally want to. I think for me, it's like I want to have like the right person do it. Like I don't think you have a very good like radio voice, like I love your voice, it's great. But personally, I just
I sound like a 12-year-old. Are you serious?
no, I love it. I love it. It's great.
Aw.
But I think for me, like because like, I write epic fantasy, I want like some deep voices, like to like sort of bring out the world. But I mean any voice would do but mine, basically, is my opinion. So if I found a woman that had like a voice for it, or even just wanted to do it, I'd be like, sure. Like, but yeah, it's definitely something that I want to get into for sure.
Yeah, they give you those options. I use ACX.
Mhm.
It's an Amazon company, and they like work. I'm not actually sure if it's Audible or what, but they work
Mhm.
with Audible.
Right,
And
right. And you can get them.
yeah, but you can do it with profit share. So you don't actually
Oh.
have an initial payout, which
Mhm.
is so helpful because I have
Yeah.
no money.
Right, right. We're broke authors, exactly. But yeah, I should really look into that for sure.
Yeah. And they'll let you listen to different voices to find just the right one. And you
Mm,
can have people audition for your book, and it's it's a lot easier than it seems.
that's
But I mean,
fantastic.
it's hard too because
Mm,
even with the greatest voices, they still make mistakes, and you have
mhm.
to listen, and you have to be really careful about not letting a little thing go, because then you've got this it changes everything if they mispronounce a single word.
Right. Especially like, with fantasy and stuff, like one of my characters, his name is Nyam, but it's spelled Nyam, and you can easily pronounce that as a plethora of different things. So I think in audio, you have to really be like, so this is how you pronounce this word, this name.
Exactly. The one that I'm working, well, the one that my narrator is working on now, one of the main characters, his name is Gear, but it's spelled Gier. So I had to specifically write out his name is pronounced Gear, Gear, not Gyre or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, she was actually very happy to have those things, to have the little pronunciation guide.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was considering doing like, I don't know if you have like pronunciation guides in your book for just like normal readers. I was considering, yeah, me either. I was considering doing that because like, but the thing is that my characters particularly, they don't have like crazy names. Like they're all like about 2 syllables each.
Okay.
So, and I know that fantasy, like that kind of, it's not very common in fantasy. Usually with fantasy, the names are all weird, but
That's true. Well, it depends. It depends if it's epic fantasy or if it's urban, because urban you have a lot of normal names.
that's true. That is true. Huh.
Well, I mean, my paranormal mystery series, that her name is Madison Meyer. So there's nothing unusual about her other than that she's a genius. So yeah.
I love that alliteration too, the Madison Meyer, like the M's. I love that.
I do too. I was pretty happy with it.
Well, do you write under a pen name?
Shannon Reber is my pen name.
Okay.
It's actually my maiden name. A little tidbit for you there. Well, I take it you do too, because I kind of doubt that your name is Tori Tale.
Who me?
Yeah. I have this suspicion.
Yeah, it's also a pen name.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's similar to my other name. Just changed around a few words.
Well, I have to quick tell you, Tori is my favorite version of the name Victoria. It is absolutely my favorite. So there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been called Vicky a lot, like scathingly. So Vicky.
So wrong.
And yeah, I don't like Vicky. I don't like being called Vicky. I don't even like calling other people Vicky. Like people that have the name Victoria that are like, call me Vicky. I'm like, no.
Do I have to? Oh, I'll call you Tori in my head, and Vicky.
Right.
I just want to dress you. That'll work. Vic is kind of cute though. I mean, it's not terrible, Vic, but I don't know. I'd rather just stick with Tori.
I think because like my experience in life with people calling me like Vicky and like, I just can't do it. I feel like I'm insulting someone if I say it.
I understand. The terrible thing about my name is there is no actual nickname. I mean, Shan is as close as you get to a nickname in my world.
It's pretty good though. Shannon's the next name.
I like it. They told me when I was a kid that my name meant small and wise, and I had my wisdom teeth removed. So it means that my name just means small now.
Small. Are you actually short?
No.
Oh, that's funny. Ironic.
But I mean, I'm average. 5'5". 5'5" is average, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
I'm pretty tall myself. I'm like 5'11".
Oh, really?
Almost 6 feet. Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of awesome, actually. Do you like to look down on people?
It helps in a crowd, but sometimes like I don't want to be seen. When you're like trying to like you're in a library and you're just kind of like, I'm just gonna be small, just gonna be one of these books that fit in a shelf.
Do you hunch a lot to keep?
Well, I climb. I do a lot of climbing. So it's when you work your sort of back muscles, it makes sort of hunched forward, so I've been trying to like fix my posture a bit more, but I tend to
Straighten your
slouch.
shoulder. I've actually all the tall people that I know, they do hunch a lot because, you know, it seems like they want to be smaller. That's what it seems like
Sometimes,
anyways.
yeah. Sometimes for sure.
Well,
Um,
you know. Okay,
but
so but hold on, back to what you're reading though. Are
mhm.
you reading anything else that you know might be a pull for somebody else to start reading?
Like, am I reading something that I would recommend to people?
Yeah, okay, go for that. That'll work.
I don't know. I have a book. I don't know. Whenever like, people ask me to recommend things, I'm always like it just like some people love romance and they only read like smut and stuff like that. And if that's your thing, I have no recommendations. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't read the genre. But if it's like fantasy, I would recommend my book, or I'd recommend like Mistborn. Uh
Ooh, hold on. I'm gonna look that one up.
oh, you haven't
Okay.
you haven't heard Mistborn? Oh,
I
it's
don't
like
think so. But
it's by
okay.
Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. I do. I listened to Steelheart by
Mm,
him, and that one was really good. But
yeah, he's a
I never did get to book two.
mm.
There is a book two, I think. Brandon
Yeah,
Sanderson, I think.
Mistborn is one of those books where it's also like, I think it has a sequel, but it doesn't really necessarily need one. Like, if you're a super
Okay.
huge fan, like, but you can just read it as a one-off book for
Okay.
sure. But it does
Gotcha.
leave you a bit on a cliffhanger. Just a little bit.
Just a smidgen. Yeah. Oh well, you know. I don't know. Is it for me, I think one of the ones that I got uh that I am at least moderately enjoying, not 100%. But it's oh shoot. Hold on. Nope. Sorry. I can't see what the name is. And I was actually going to recommend it. Darn it. This is the problem with blind girls. We never know what we're doing here.
Are you actually?
Half. I'm an albino.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so that's your real hair color.
Yeah.
That's
It's just a
awesome.
lot of
That
eye
is so
makeup.
awesome. I bet people always are like, "Oh my god, where'd you dye your hair?"
Yes. I'm always going, well, birth? Genes? Um Nobody ever asked me that when before I started wearing eye makeup though. Gotta say.
Mm.
All right. Oh, there we go. It's Reckless Magic. That's the name of the book. And I mean it is pretty good. It's not my favorite that I've read, but it's young adult. And oh shoot, do you have people around you?
No, no.
Okay. It's young adult. It's pretty good for young adult. That's what I'll say.
And what was it called again?
Reckless Magic.
Reckless Magic. Let me write that down.
Oh, brother. Well, I'm trying to turn it off now because it turned on when I hit the button to figure out what the name was. And now my Kindle is frozen. This is
Oh
the
no.
problem.
Oh no.
It happens all the time to me.
Oh wow. So do you mainly read books like via audio, like listening
Yes.
to them?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Actually, my Kindle, the text to speech feature is pretty good too.
Yeah, I always even when I'm reading articles, I'll just like put it on text to read.
Yes. It's spectacular. And the British voice is the one that I always use. So it always cracks me up because it pronounces aluminum as aluminium, or oh shoot, lieutenant is lieutenant. That's what it is. And it cracks me up every single time. But yeah, I use it anyways, despite that. But,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well,
So you write like crime novels-ish, sort of paranormal.
well, I write kind of everything.
Mhm.
Let's see, what is it? I've got like 56 titles. I don't even know anymore.
Prolific. Wow,
A
amazing.
little bit, yeah, except this year.
Hmm.
Um, but
Is it difficult to like write when you're like with your vision, or do you like use like the speech at all?
um I've got Zoom text set up. But it's the only thing that Zoom text does that I hate is it read oh, I could probably figure out how to turn this off, but I haven't figured it out yet. It reads what you're typing. But then if you if you're scanning downward, uh every time you scan down, it says blank, 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 blank. Like, no, it's not blank. It's a whole document that I'm trying to scan through. If you would please shut up. On. Zip lip. But, but she doesn't understand that. I don't know. She doesn't get me.
Right.
But I haven't been
Do
trained
you
how to use it yet. So
do you
once I
ever
am
like
trained.
look up like how things happen and like question whether you're gonna the FBI is gonna come for you because you're like
Yes.
searching how to like potentially like hide a body.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I've looked up how to make a bomb a couple of times, and so I'm fairly certain I'm being monitored at this point. I,
Yeah,
there needs to be a disclaimer after my name, writer in progress,
right.
writing in progress, or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah,
That's so funny. Yeah, because I with fantasy, it's like I'll look up how to hunt or how to like, make a house and go off the grid. So,
okay.
but even then, sometimes I feel like, I go a little too far with like, how does blood splatter?
Yes, exactly. But see, if you watch things like Dexter, you can figure that out fairly
That is
well.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
Dexter.
I to be completely honest, I found Dexter boring.
Really? Why is that?
Um, because I I don't really care that much about the backstory of a serial killer.
Hmm.
I would rather, instead of being in the head of a serial killer, be in the head of the cop who's trying to catch the serial killer.
Hmm.
But I
Very
mean,
cool.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me because
No, I sort
people
of
love
agree.
that
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I watched like the first couple seasons. I thought that the first season was good, but then
Mm,
after that, I don't know. I thought it kind of threw off on me. Like
yeah.
it's kind of boring a little bit.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Hmm.
Uh, but but I don't know. I think that's probably just me. Like we were talking about 1984. The reason I don't like it is because I like for the good guys to win.
Hmm.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
it's hard to see the serial killer as the good guy,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree. I agree. It's like I mean, with Dexter, at least he was kind of he was like a vigilante of sorts, you
that's
could
true.
say. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't really want to get into that mind. Yeah, I don't really like if like you're just in it because you like it. It's like I don't really I don't really care.
That is very
Because I think with like super psychotic negative like people, it's sort of one dimensional at that point because it's like you're just all bad. It's not like
yes.
there's not a lot of nuance. I think with Dexter there was like some nuance because it was just some thing in his brain. But if you just explain it as oh it's just something in his brain, it's like well I don't care. Like okay.
Exactly. Oh, okay. Now see, the very first book that I wrote, I it was in the head of the hero, and
Mm,
somebody suggested that I write other chapters in the point of view of the bad guy. I went,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems pretty dark, especially because I was writing all YA at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I decided to try it anyways, and I know for sure that I went too far. I feel like guilty now that I'm having it turned into an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
I like even the narrator, he's like, this is so dark. Okay, book two is a
Mm.
little better because it's a little less dark. I'm like, oh, just wait.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
I felt that as well. Where like you think like, am I crazy? Like, is this something wrong with me that I would write something so dark? But I think with with art and with like writing especially, I am happy that people go there. I'm happy that people like sort of express that sort of like part of your mind and go there. I mean, maybe not to dwell in there,
yeah,
right? That's where it
yeah,
gets a little icky, but you gotta use those creative negative juices sometimes.
exactly. But something I commented on a while ago was it the people who really enjoy those dark, gritty, like terrible, horrible things happening books are the sunniest people you will ever meet. Sometimes. I mean, there are some like just dark people who like dark things. That's fine too. But
Mhm.
it always cracks me up when these happy oh, I just love life. And then they read your book and they're like, oh, that was amazing. Like, I feel kind of weird about you liking my
Right,
bad guy point of view book.
right.
It feels wrong, but
Mhm.
I think it feeds something. I suppose in a person who wouldn't normally even think that way. You
It's
know what I
very
mean?
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I have a character in my book that is sort of the opposite, like sort of like the opposite of one of the characters that I wrote, where he's like very misogynist versus the woman who's very like strength, like warrior type. And they're both like sort of this warrior, but he's like very opposed to her. And the way that I wrote him, I always feel guilty because he's such a terrible, he says the worst things. Like yet he's like one of the characters of the story. And on one hand, I kind of want him to be liked. But on the other hand, I'm like, if you like him, I question you. I question you a lot.
That is kind of funny. You do have to wonder about the people who like that particular guy.
Right. Right. But
But you know,
is there a character that people specifically like really like that you didn't expect in your books?
um, let me think. Let me think. Shoot, I do have one. Shoot, my brain is blank now. Oh. One of my narrators actually was telling me that she liked reading from my
Mm,
mean girl's point of view just because she's not like that. And
mm.
so it was really fun for her to like get in the head of the main girl kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
I thought it was fun, and it was a fun way to express it. Like, I'm not that person, so I got to see what that person
Mhm.
I got to feel that person just for a little while. Like, okay, yeah, all right. I'm with you, just so long as you take that hat off when you're done.
Right, right. Exactly. Do you ever like write yourself in your stories, or are you adamantly against that?
I I have kind of sorta. I
Mhm.
did a little therapy for myself in a couple of my
Mhm.
books, and I wrote myself uh, as I am as I was when I was a teenager, and it it was eye opening actually.
Mm.
So like I don't know. Have you?
No, I think well, I wrote my book when I was very young, so
Okay.
I guess when my thinking was like I am young. I'm too young to even have an opinion or like a expression of life. I guess that was
Oh,
my
really?
thinking. Yeah, I thought people weren't going to take me seriously, and
Okay.
so I had to like completely remove myself from the situation.
Okay.
So but at the same time, every character that you write is like a part of you in some way. So I
Right,
think I
right.
just sort of combined all the little tiny things that I
Yeah,
thought would be cool characters, and also put myself into all of them. So even the terrible ones.
yeah, I get that. And it does actually add depth to what you're writing, because you you're in someone else's head,
Mhm.
and but you're still
Right.
yourself. So
Right, exactly. And I think like being an
see that.
author really teaches you to be sort of like, um, what's the word? Like empathetic, sympathetic, because
Yes.
you you have to put yourself into other people's situations and shoes of your characters, like
Yeah.
very deeply to be a good writer. You gotta like get in there with it. So yeah, I think that's why I'm an advocate for writing. Everyone should like write something, even if they're not good at it. Write it.
I I do agree. And like for certain things, I've looked up a lot of psychology in like what happens when someone's in a certain situation, because I'm I'm a fairly unemotional person.
Hmm.
Like, I do happy and I do pissy, but there's not a lot of in between for me. But um it modeling someone after me would be really boring.
Mm.
So like I have to look up everything that other people have gone through to see how they reacted to it. And like I don't know. I mean, I've looked up enough that I think I understand people more than I did before,
Mhm.
but not through interacting with actual people.
Right, through reading
Yeah,
helps with that, I think.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I sort of feel the same where and that kind of comes with like smut, like people that would read just like romance and they love romance, and I'm just like, I don't know, I don't just I'm not into it.
Yeah,
I
I'm with
think
you.
just it sort of repeats itself, you know. It's like you know what's gonna happen. The guy is gonna get with the girl, or like the love interest gets with whoever. Like that's the end game, you know. So
Yeah,
I mean, not to say that romance is bad or that uh you shouldn't write it or read or whatever, but
yeah.
it's just I just don't I'm still not at that stage in my life where I understand it fully. I think I'm starting to get there though. Some romance novels are phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal. But yeah.
Well, okay. See, I don't read romance, but I do like paranormal romance.
Oh, how does paranormal romance work?
So it's basically the same kind of thing, but it's with a fantasy creature, or
Mm.
I don't mean vampire, because I'm so tired of everything being about vampires.
Mm.
But like a fantasy, or there being some sort of fantasy element in the story.
Mhm.
I like escaping reality.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
so that's why I like fantasy so much.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I I write it in my stories too. I mean, not full romance, but paranormal mystery. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but what am I saying? Uh, Paranormal romance, fantasy
Mm.
romance, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think every story needs just a little bit of zest, a little bit of pizzazz.
Yes, exactly, exactly. But if that's all it is, then it's boring. That
Right, right.
that's my feelings on the matter.
Mhm. But some people like, especially like online, they really love that just the romance. It's like you just hop in a situation like you're watching a video. It's just like the situation is at large, and they don't need any backstory. Just describe the whole thing.
The one that was cracking me up the other day was I have a bookshop, and
Mm,
so I had an older fellow come in, and he was looking for Clive Cussler type books, and
mm.
his wife was looking for Danielle Steele. I'm like, that is so funny.
It's
But
really
she
funny.
she she would have had to been between 70 and 80. And she's reading all romances. And I thought it was adorable and
That's
also kind
so
of
cute.
icky.
Kind of gross, kind of good.
Just a little
That's
bit
so
icky.
funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I thought so too. But they were very sweet, and like he came in by himself and picked out like I believe it was 7 different Danielle Steele books for his wife. Like that is it is so sweet, and still I'm cringing over here, and I kind of want to use hand sanitizer now that I touched his money. I'm like, no.
Like, honey, can you go to the store and get me some milk and some smut novels?
Exactly.
Mm.
But again, that's them, and it works for them. So there you go.
Mm. It's really cool that you own a bookstore, though. That's really awesome.
I wouldn't say own, it's more manage.
Mm.
That's probably the best way to put it.
Do you have your books like front and center?
I have a local authors section that is front and center, but I am one of the local authors. So yes, yes,
That's
the answer
awesome.
is yes. But I try not to make it about me. I try to make it about us.
Inclusive, so. Right? Inclusive.
Exactly.
So many books. Sometimes I walk into a bookstore and it's just, I get so overwhelmed because I'm like, I want to read all of you. All of these books, I want to read them. All of these, I want them. I start reading the covers and I start sweating and I'm like, so many. Like
how to choose. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm a particularly slow reader. That's why I love like listening to them or
yes,
text to read.
Yes, indeed. It does make things a lot more spectacular. And the beautiful thing is you can do other stuff whilst you are reading. I love that.
Absolutely.
I don't do laundry. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't cook. I don't do dishes. I don't do laundry without a book on. That's just all there is to it. I won't do it.
Well, yeah, even driving for me.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Hey, I think we probably gotta cut this off. So let's see. Tori H Tale, what's the name of your book?
Delmore, The Lost Quest.
Okay. And I'm Shannon Reber, and I have buttloads of books, so just look them up on Amazon. So yeah, I'm really glad you came to visit, and I will.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I guess I will see you on Twitter soon.
Awesome. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh. And for all. Whoops.